Susan, is there a sexism problem in Silicon Valley today?
Well, I think, you know, Silicon Valley is a diverse place, and there are many different opinions, but like within Silicon Valley. But I think whenever you have a culture that is, whenever you have a majority and a minority, it's going to be harder for that minority. You know, even in a culture where people are really well-meaning, and I think there are many, many well-meaning, working hard, trying to provide Silicon Valley to be a diverse place, there are sometimes microaggressions, right? Like people who will just cut you off. And you'll be talking, and then someone will interrupt you. And so that's actually become like a big pet peeve of mine. So whenever like somebody interrupts me, I'll be like, wait, I was talking. Do not interrupt me. But I enjoy it even more actually when I see them interrupting someone else, and then I'll be like, wait, she was talking, don't interrupt her. And I think like every time I've done that, like people have been like, oh, thank you. Like I didn't realize I was doing that. And so I think just making people more aware of it is really important.
So would you say overall, yes, there is a problem in the Valley, and one you're hopeful is being fixed?
Well, I think there is a problem just in the numbers and being underrepresented. Like we need more women across the board, and until those numbers get fixed, it's gonna be a harder place for women to work.
On the issue of not just hiring more women, but paying women fairly and equally as important. So in April, the Department of Labor came out and they said they found systemic problems of Google paying women less than their male counterparts. Google came out and said, we vehemently disagree. They called it an unfounded statement. Have you seen a pay gap within YouTube? You don't run off Google, you run YouTube. Have you seen it? Is it a problem?
Yeah. Also, I will say we were really, really surprised by that allegation. And I know internally that if you want to manage pay, we have like a very sophisticated team that manage that. So like many people who have PhDs who do sophisticated analysis to understand to make sure you're managing like people with like experience and like roles, and that it's equal, and location, all those things are taken into consideration. So I'm just saying we take it very seriously. When we talk to those experts, they give you very sophisticated analysis that they're doing. And so we were very surprised by those allegations. But I will say personally, and since I have access to certainly everyone in my organization's compensation, I regularly will go through when we're doing our pay reviews and say, let's go through everyone who is at this level. Let's make sure that everyone who's at this level, performing at this level, that they're within the same band of compensation. And I will say from doing it, it is complicated because you look at what do you look at 2 years, do you look at 4 years, someone joined last year versus 5 years ago, and the stock went up. It's like there's many factors. This is a complicated thing to do, but I consistently go through it, and I personally go through it myself. After my teams go through it, after the HR teams go through it, I go through it and I look through it and I spot check that it is consistent and it's fair. And if we see, again, if we see something really quick.
So, recently wrote an op-ed, got a lot of attention from the headline, How to Break Up the Silicon Valley Boys Club. In it, you write, we're frustrated that the industry is so quick to change, and the future cannot break through the relevant past. You said it's not rocket science. So what's the solution?
It's not. This is a solvable problem. And so I outlined 3 different steps, which sound straightforward, but I don't think are happening in this company. So the first one is that it really needs to come from the top. You need the CEO of the company to say, it matters, we want to have diversity in our company, where's my not just where's my diversity team, but okay, all of you, all my leaders, I want to make sure that you're all thinking about this when you're doing your companies. I'm also on the board of Salesforce. Mark Benioff has been a really big supporter on Equal Pay. He's like, we're going to make a big change in Equal Pay. We're going to go through this.
We have a problem. We're not paying some women as much as their male counterparts. Here's the problem.
And so, that's an example of I think the second thing is that we need to make sure that you're funding the groups to be able to, the different diverse groups to be able to have their own support. So whether it's like their own employee resource group, enabling them to be able to meet, to do their offsites, but then not expecting them to plan everything. So you need to have the budget and the people, and not assume that if there's like one woman in a group, she's going to be the one that is going to organize the women's organization, right? It's just not fair. And then the last one I see is just providing mentorship, and I feel like I really benefited from that. There's no question. I've worked incredibly hard in my career. I've been really lucky to be in the right place. I've made a lot of great business decisions, but I've also had people at the top of the company who saw and invested in me and made sure that I was able to be in the right meetings and be in the right places. I mean, if you look at technology field, like most of the leaders are men. I mean, we just went through the numbers, right? And so if you think about like, well, how are you going to change that? Well, it's like we need people who are on the inside. We need people who are the leaders. Those happen to be a lot of men, and so you need them to be saying like, I want to bring diversity, and I'm going to be supportive. I'm going to make sure that so-and-so can come to me. I'm going to make sure that I'm promoting the people in my org who have that talent. And Bill Campbell is like, he was the coach of Silicon Valley, which I thought was super interesting. He was not a technical person. He would always say, I can't write a single line of code. And he had come from being a football coach, but yet he was an advisor to the top people in Silicon Valley. There were a few times that there were events I wasn't invited to, or meetings or something that I wasn't, external ones, and he, or conference, and I would reach out to him, and he actually swear about it. He would like get all angry and be like, I'm gonna fix this, and then like, and then they'd hang up, and then like a day later I'd be like, whoa, I got that invite, thank you, Bill, right?